And error number 1, have to unmute. This is Jesse Azul Onyx. This is the very first live stream for this channel. I am currently messing around with Twitch and gonna play around with the PancakesCon live that happened on 17th? This past Sunday? No, 16th. On January 16th, 2022. And today, currently, it is, if you watch this in the future, it is January 19th, 2022. So this is probably not going to go well. I'm probably going to have issues. I'm only going to do the challenges that the team solved. So over January 16th, the team I was on came in second, SpaceCows. For that, let's see. So, well, I should move me out of the way here. Alright, so I was actually on this team right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go through and do two things. One is go through some of the challenges. I'm not sure if they're all going to work, so we'll find out. But before I do that, let me start my VM real quick. I'm not 100% sure if all of the challenges or the network's still active for some of them, so we'll find out. So I'm actually going to start this one. So for this one, I actually used two VMs. I was using apiratemoo security. And then Surguy OS. So Surguy is a digital forensics tool. So go over here. It's this one. So it's a DFR Linux distro. The other one is apiratemoo, which is this one. These are two distros I'm using. Now, the reason why I'm using two different distros, I find that Surguy is a little better on the digital forensic side, and it just seems to be, overly easier to use when I'm doing actual forensic itself. Although I didn't use it too much in this one, primarily because the challenges were, come over here. So you had, these were binary exploitation and cryptography ones. These were red team, just owning a box. These are network enumeration, and then you had the intro. So we're gonna, so as you start up, that's going on. Let's see. So before, real quick. PancakesCon3, it's the third version of this one. Alright, so it's happened on January 16th. This is a really fun little thing for security. This particular one actually had several talks. Every talk is about 45 minutes, maybe less. However, it's a combination of half the talk is a security talk and half the talk is some type of other thing you're doing. People made pancakes. Some people did Tai Chi. There was people making pottery. Sometimes what they're talking about is within the context of the talk itself. Like they're going through the talk and you're learning what they're talking about. Other times they would do the talk first and then go into whatever else they wanted to talk about. John Strand gave information about animals and stuff like that. So it was quite interesting. Let's see, there was 450 unique viewers, 150 people participated in the villages, excuse me, about 100 CTF participants. So I did watch part of the talks, but I ended up doing the CTF more. For one day it was, you had very little time to sit there and go around it. So I was specifically trying to focus on the CTF. Let's see. All right. Oops. I will warn you, there will be lots of typos. Okay, I'll let you. Alright, so we're going to see if the network's still up. So the intro right here basically tells you the Access Lab environment with all of the VMs have been deployed. You got to use OpenVM. And here's the client information, and then the flag is like right here. So, and here I've already downloaded the client VM. So we're going to the question is, can anyone count how many typos I will have? And you just let me know, because you know, maybe something will come out of it. Who knows? But I will have a lot of typos. Oh, before I do that, so there's several keys here, private keys, public keys. There's also configuration. So they made it actually really easy. Just open the configuration. I'm gonna see if it'll let me. I don't know if it'll work. Otherwise, I'll just do the ones that are offline. So we'll find out. It doesn't look like it's gonna work. I was hoping it would. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's actually could connect. So in lieu of that, I'm going to pull up doesn't look like it's actually going to connect. Alright, so we're going to go over here. Oh, oops. That is not right up. So she was the one that put together the team. So, and she does have a write up. I thought it was that one. No, this one. So the crack means we're actually gonna go walk through here in a minute, because we can do those. Group selfie, same thing. So the pwn boxes, we saw 4 of them. Unfortunately, I can't get the VMs because the systems are it's offline since Monday. I was afraid that was going to happen, but anyway, the first one, pwn 1. So one of the things about this particular CTF made it so dang difficult was the that none of the boxes, you didn't know what each box was. So you weren't assured what the name of each box. So these are like, you know, pwn 1 root. Well, okay, which box is pwn 1? They don't tell you. So you have to figure out what each box is, which made it made the CTF much harder because you don't know. And it was supposed to be more of like a entry to mid-level. I found it very difficult for not knowing that. Like, so until you enumerate the box, figure out what box you were on to figure out which challenge you had to solve. So it made it really difficult. And it really sucked for me and some others on the team. So this was written by Wally whatever. So there were a lot of CTF machines on the network, which he was very correct. Some of them had nothing to do with the CTF. Some were just decoys. And then there was one that had a unusual service listed for Nmap. So this one had, looks like it's got postscripts here, and then this open elites. All right, now they like to use these 31337, which is you know hacker kind of thing all the time. So whenever you see this, you'll see the 311-31337 or 1337 are TC ports. They like to say, "Hey, come look at me." And then here's some fingerprint settings for that one, and this is pulled by Nmap. let's see, what does he say? On the main screen, you could list what users exist to log in as new or existing users. First, I tried some SQL instructions. This was also a Postgres server running. Alright, and he says he didn't make any progress. So there is a Postgres, which I noticed earlier, right here on 5432. Let's see. The channels listed. There was also a source code files, several source codes. I'm not sure of. Basically, you can just log in as new as a server. Oh, okay, so you can log in as a user with no password. And apparently, there was, when after you log in, there was some usernames or source code. And this one is an overflow attack. Basically, he's going to fill up a set of memories and a set of memory to see if he can get into another part of memory. It looks like he crashed it here. So one thing about A's, one of the he doesn't do it here. It looks like he just copy and paste it. But one of the things you can do is if you use Python, you can actually do something like so you can like print an A. Which version of Python is this? So mess this up probably. So you can like print an A and then times by, I don't know, 30. And then you get 30 A's. So you could actually do it this way too. Do 100 A's. So you instead of copy and pasting, you usually could just echo this right to the application or to an endpoint of some sort and then just make how many A's you need. This is usually how they'll sit there and figure out a buffer overflow, but I've seen it done. I'm not very good at it. And then you can like add in characters in here, and then there's ways of solving it that way. So let's see. So he crashed it, and then command not found. Alright, so GTM is this. That's interesting. I actually never played with it. So apparently, as he says, some type of debugger. I can see that. Let's see. So in some type of debugging environment. So, and he's right to point out that you either need to run consistent commands or escape whatever the hell you're in. Oh, and apparently Z system drops you to a shell. Well, that's not that's not a good thing for them. So this looks like it might have been a overflow, but more of a like the log4j issue, log4j, where it saves the message and then the application rereads the message and then it executes code. RCE, that's it, RCE. So this was the first one. This is Pwn3. And it was created by Tabitha Sable. Alright. Or not Pwn3, sorry. Excuse me, Pwn1. Pwn3, which you're getting a username apparently. Let's see. So this is .51. Initial disallow of robots.txt. So robot.txt is basically a way to disallow stuff on it on a website. Most sites actually have them. So here's a couple of them. They're public available, but they usually give you information on other endpoints that aren't cached. Of course, probably shouldn't do that. So in here you have fuel. All right, fuel is also weird. And there's also HTTP title as fuel CMS. So CMS is customer management service. So here, so when they run Nmap with certain flags, you'll get this information. So you see one disallowed entry, which is this right here, which looks like it's a fuel CMS. It's an Apache. And then GitHub provided the following gem. My phone went off. And then you look up fuel CMS. Apparently it's hardcoded at 8000. And then I'm grabbing the flag in the base directory. That's pretty easy. I know my phone is apparently going off, but unfortunately I'm not sure where it's at. Morning, apparently you're up this early. And again, if you're just catching in, I'm going through PancakesCon3's CTF, going through the boxes that I can't get into due to the CTF being offline. So those are the phone challenges. One, two, three, four. Oh, they only have the first two. Unfortunately, I didn't solve any of these, so apparently they only see the first two. All right, for network enumeration, this was basically just scanning certain boxes and then figuring out what the flags were. Grabbing the first flag for net 1. Net 1 actually apparently was 240. And then, according to this one, you can use Nmap, of course. And you also have SSL scan. And let's see. So you have another robots.txt here with another flag .txt. And actually way down here. So there's this flag here. I'm not sure if it's actually, it doesn't look like it might be used for anything, but there's also the flag here for DNS. So using just straight Nmap, you can find the flags or find more information about it. Let's see, net 2. Let's see, this is SNMP enumeration. So SNMP. So I'm just going to pull this one up. So this one's like use it a lot in enterprises, but it's an whoops. I might click that. It's an Internet Standard Protocol for collecting and organizing information about managed devices and IP networks and monitoring that informs to change device behavior. It's used for network management, and network monitoring. All right, and it uses an MIB database. So what makes this interesting and can be an issue is if you're using version 1, especially version 1 is very vulnerable to this. You can actually get more information for the device than you probably want. Not gonna go too much into this, but it basically you can grab a whole bunch of CPU information, traffic information, just stats and IP information, all this from SNMP depending on which device you're connected to. These MIB databases are per company, but every company gives them to you. So you just go to the website and download them, and then you can use them. And again, I set this up years ago using what's called CA Spectrum. You can get a lot of information, even to the point of you can actually attach in CA Spectrum and probably SolarWinds and the Dude and any other similar tool. You can attach devices to each individual port on a map, and then when that port goes down, it'll say, hey, that device is offline. Specifically on a port level, and instead of just pinging it, because pinging it, if you have multiple ways to get to a device, if you ping it, you won't know that it's disconnected from that port on that switch or that router. This allows you to do that. So one of the ones was that SNMP enumeration. You can also run SNMP walk. And then let's see, to pull the community strings, 161 within the flag is a tool reference for SNMP enumeration. And then this is a example of using SNMP walk. They didn't have the flag, but this is what you can get. Another thing this is actually useful to as well is if you have remote sites, you can pull information. You can actually get who controls that device. Who do I need to call? What contact information do I have for that device? But at the same time, if you're not using at least SNMP 2C or version 3, you could inadvertently give this information to an attacker who's on your network. Let's see, and then Net 6 is an SNMP share. So SMB is the basic of Windows share, but you can use Symba to emulate a Windows on Linux. So SNMP looks like support 445 is the primary one you connect to. This show Windows 6.1, and then it's not using version 1. So then they're using crackmap.exe as the command tool to break it and to list all the shares. Now, if you're doing this, the other thing you could also do, if there's not a password on it, you could actually anonymously connect to it through just using SNMP Connect or SNMP Client and do the similar thing. Because it looks like here there's no user name or password, so it looks like they're just connecting anonymously. Alright, so now you use anmpacket. Let's see, to break into the shares. Question is, so here's direct segmentation, here's the flag right here, and on the base share. Those are the ones that are on here at the moment. What's that? Oh, it's a little. So this is one of the other challenges. One of the other challenges with a interesting little thing listed in it. But anyway, so I'm not sure if impact was actually required on this one. If you're using an anonymous connection anyway, don't know. I saw it, but you potentially could have just done the SNMP client itself, and then connected with was it like -L or whatever to list all of the shares, and then you connect directly to them and then list them out. Might have worked as well instead of using mpacket. All right. However, I'm gonna go all the way back up here. So this is newer grommets. So I'm actually gonna go over here. So I actually have all of the files I grabbed the other day. So these are all the different files for each of the different scenarios. This is a bin file. So what I'm actually gonna do is, well, maybe. Oh, come on. Well, let me copy it. So I get for updating software before doing this. So apparently it will not let me. So there is always an issue. It might not let me do it without restarting my computer, unfortunately. Yeah, it won't. So the issue is the I update the software and then I'm trying to do this and now it won't let me drag and drop into the window. So we will do it a little differently here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is add a shared folder to the VM. Now most of the current I'm actually just going to manually go here. Ooh. So most of the current Linux versions will auto mount this. And it'll be in mount HGFS as in the folder name I gave it, which is this one. And then I got files. Alright. So these are all the files. So this is the one that's actually talking about. So let's pull that one out. So it says it's the image, but it's also a bin file. So and it says to run it. Oh, you know what? But it's data. Question is, oops. Another one. Alright, so this one actually requires, I'm probably going to do this one. So what's missing on that one is, so I also downloaded all the challenge notes. So Mini VMac has a good getting around started guide. So it's actually an 86K Mac application on 800K floppy disk, which can be used in any emulator that supports them. And then they're using Mini VMac using any System 7 base image operating system. So that's fun. So a lot of challenges are really weird. This is not the first one. They actually had another challenge I was trying to solve. Even though I can look at it in here, the interesting thing here is how would you know it would be VMac? I'm not really sure. But since I already have it in here, let me see something here. Okay. Oh, because it's strings. There we go. Desktop folder. Already edits. But this is a feature. Normal computers are at 2 to 4 gigahertz, 16 gigs is common. We have more RAM than you have hard drive space. Oh, Jesus. So, and then you also have some of these where it's like another hint, but this isn't the flag right here. And then flag string, try view, and then hex. Let's see. So this is forms. It looks like it's like a mini application of some sort. Sorts. Well, that's interesting. Alright, so it's actually what I was just reading a second ago. That's funny. Did not know that. Okay, they're researching. And then you can, here's the original write-up for it. Let's see, runs in well into mini VMAC. This is actually a similar issue that they're having here that I had with the Unix challenge. Getting it to, I finally got it to run, but I couldn't get the floppy with the freaking application to run. And it was so frustrating. Like I spent hours trying to get Unix. It was AT&T System 5 version 4, I think. A different challenge, but same kind of concept this year. Let's see. Oh, there's a. So this brings back a lot of memories. Anybody play on old freaking systems here? That's great. I remember doing this on freaking. It looks like freaking really old, like Apple. Or I mean, this isn't Apple, but I didn't play on a VMAC. But I remember the systems looked like this several years ago. Oh my God, so far. Can anyone remember that? You know, something like this. Grab a book here. Something like this, you know. Right on like a Commodore 64 or something. Oh, if I can get it in camera view. You know. Does no good today, but Commodore 64 were quite fun before. Oh, this makes me think of like a Buffalo overflow or something. That actually looks like. Give you pancakes. This is, yeah, this looks like part of like memory or something. That's what it looks like. Not 100% sure from reading this. I wonder. Let's see. They have a little more information here. Right, no more information, but that's about as far as we get. All right, so Zoro was an elf. So for that one, let's see, this one. Pull it over here. So if I do, oops, I messed up here. All right. Actually, another thing you can also do with strings is if you put in a number, it skips that number of characters. Usually under 5 or 10, you can just skip those because those are usually like these random bits of information that aren't actual words. So you can see that is linked Linux. You say, what is the password? You also have invalid password size here. Super secrets. If you do, actually, that was the other one also. Nope. So it tells you ELF binary, executable, stripped. If I do, it's not too big, so why not go too crazy. This is the hex output from it. So we'll actually let me go to the top here. So elf again shows that it's an elf. Normally when I look at these, I always try to run like, you know, TRIL, which is a different type. I find it better, but it's not set up in Parrot. To figure out what the file is and if it's encrypted. Run file, of course, and then XXD is like a baseline hex editor. Run that against it, take a look at it, along with strings, and then you'll get an idea of what it does. So this is a lot of empty space. It's not really used. And a lot of this gibberish that doesn't really mean anything. A lot of this is probably some type of algorithm to hide to obfuscate the password. So here, you know, it's going to ask for a password. It also has invalid password size here. So if I just do invalid password size, right? So they're just doing it like basically brute forcing it. Let's see what happens. I said it was 4. So 84 characters? Does it give you the same character? So does it give you the same answer? Oh, so again, this looks like it's dumping hex to you. But I would assume that if you ran through all the combinations, you could potentially get the flag for it. I wonder. I'm so bad at this here. hoping I can use. Let's start about that. So this one, the other way you can do it, either you can write it so it goes through all of the characters. You could also use something like Crunch and just create a freaking file with every combination and try that. Let's see. Yeah, this is the Zor shift. It was the one that I was messing around with. Let's see. That was actually solved. But I found a OVA that booted up the architecture, but couldn't get the could not get the floppy to boot, so it couldn't run the application to figure out what in the world it did, because it was written in Rust technically. Shoot, which one was that? That's the crack me one. It's this one. So it says boot sector, and if you do, not very big, but I hope you're enjoying. Look for a flag. This floppy has one. Hold on, get the phone. Here's that picture for the bottom. And there's all the characters, and yeah. So if I do let's do 10. Now you see, and it ask for a password of some sort. That's actually the end of it. Let's drop it back down to 5. Not much else, apparently. Just so it has a password in it. I'm assuming that to debug this or look at it properly, you need the emulator. I never got the application to run in the OVA that I had, but I could get it to boot and actually log into Unix. So for boot selfie, all right, that's this one. RFC 1149 compliance network update was rebooked. Oh, well then. So this is another boot floppy. There's a lot of these apparently. There's a lot of like virtualization, you know, weird ones. This one you can use QEMU box of V86. This is reversing crackling cartography, so it's 3 sections. Let's see. So this is that's someone solved this one. Oh no. So we just gotta go through what you got so far. So there is a boot sector here. So and then you have this password. Then you have this, which looks like I thought it was like one of those like stylography things, uh, where it was like a picture or text hidden within in the image or encrypted somehow. Alright, so it reads 6 characters. Point after it reads 6 characters does something. And she didn't actually have a solution for it. Let's go back up here. There's the floppy again. Oh. Oh, I opened the floppy for boot selfie earlier instead of the one for crack me. That was the one. Oops. I had it backwards. So this actually is selfie, and then this one is the Zor shift, which I'm not sure because Zor shift doesn't show anywhere. I mean, it's an XOR, of course, but there wasn't a Zor shift kind of thing. This was also an elf. Oh, so another thing you could also do is also read elf. Let's give you an idea. Oops, too far. Okay. Right, so this shows you like this crack me is system V. All the symbols, everything in this one. And if you do here, less again. And somewhere in here, it's a big guy right here. And then it tells you the flag is encrypted. But right here it shows it's using a rust out toolchain. So didn't get very far in this one. There's always a lot of crazy VM stuff. Let's see, if I go back to here, let's go back to, so other ones that we didn't solve. So this one didn't solve. Let's see, crack. Just look at it and figure out the problem. One of these, what's the unplugged flag? I'm not sure which one it is. So one of these was a container escape as well. I think one of these up here was a container escape. So let's see, it's root. Let's see, net 3. So these were kind of frustrating. So net 1, it basically says find that one on the challenge network, study it carefully, interpret the flag. I think all these said the same thing. Yeah. Same thing. A shave sign. Okay. Yeah. So all of that challenges were basically scan the network with Nmap, figure out what box you were on, in some manner of SNMP, SSH certificates up, whatever we thought. If it was like Simba shares or NFS maybe as well. But generally, it was quite fun. I didn't get any of the boxes solved, so unfortunately, being more forensics networking, although scan the boxes worked for me, trying to enumerate all the different things, and I think with Nmap, I missed the run in the vulnerability NSC against all the boxes to see what shows up, and I think that's what some people did to figure out like the DNS one and the potentially the SNMP map. Probably would have pointed out better to me if I would have done that. For some reason I did not. So yeah, it was but it was a fun time, and you can read the main write-up here, which is on apiratemo's website or Twitter account and website, which links to some of the other contributors that actually had solved some of the challenges. But in generally, it was a great effort by everybody that participated, added their information to it, and just generally helped out however they could go. So where to go next? Well, I don't know the next CTF I'm going to do. There is another one coming up as well. Where did I see that? I think that was on LinkedIn. I might have shared it on. I don't know if I shared it on it. But you could also go to see if I have time. Assuming I would type that in right. You can also go up here. So these several CTFs coming up right now. So it looks like there is a night CTF, a real world CTF. I'm not sure what all these are. I don't think these are the ones that I saw. But this is on CTF time. If you want to get more experience just doing CTFs in general, that's where to go. You can also check out either Try Hack Me, Hack the Box, Blue Team Online, Let's Defend, depending on what types of challenges those particular CTFs will have. And again, you just have fun with it and run with it, and find random things that you can use. I will point out a couple things. One is the Operator's Handbook, which is, that does not work very well on the way my green screen set up. But the Operator's Handbook, which if you're, I'll try to link to it on when this gets uploaded to YouTube. That's a great book to use when you're doing CTFs or in general for looking stuff up. If you find more blue team stuff, you can use stuff like this one, which is a Blue Team Handbook, which is another good one. And just lots of information out there, lots of challenges. If you want to support me, you can buy me coffee at the link below me. You can also find me on Twitter at Azul Onyx or at digitalforensics.io, and you can follow me there. You can also fire a pirate moo over on Twitter as well, and find at pirate moo as well. And if any questions, you could either the best place to do is probably Twitter, or find my Discord, which I do not have a link, but I will post it on YouTube as well for my website. And thanks for this very, very a little bit long live stream, and see you in the next one. If you have any questions, comments, grievances, or just want to see different content or what type of content, let me know at anywhere you can find me.